What we're going over is a semi-plagiaristic accusation where OMG on November 4, 2024, someone's agenda was purely paste copied from CPU CC 2024, October 1 through October 3rd. The specific agenda points, laughably, are these things specifically. ESG, let's dive direct from a tweet that I'm reading verbatim. Join us for a deep dive into today's boardroom challenges and gain insights on hashtag ESG, succession planning, cybersecurity, activist investors, and more. That's from a tweet at the Stanford Rock Center for Corporeal Governance on November 4, 2024. When the specific agenda came exactly from CPU CC 24. Let's now realize that the crux of the video content has been already said. Now we can just relax, play, and just go from topic to topic with no pressure to learn, no pressure to do really anything except for enjoy each other's company. Is my sport coat nice and set? It doesn't matter. Why? Because imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. Because why don't we try to use AI prior to spending $8,000 June 24, June 23rd through June 25th, 2025, which is later on in June. Today is March 32nd, aka April 1. When the agenda points are paste copied verbatim with this snippet, which is join us for a deep dive into today's boardroom challenges and gain insights on ESG, hashtag ESG, succession planning, cybersecurity, activist investors, and more. When we're looking at these agenda points that are specifically taken from CPU CC 24 and my feed, then we're realizing, hey, this is information that you guys could have had way before April 23 to April 25 in Palo Alto for $8,000. You could have had these things October 1 through October 3, 2024. Nearly a 7-month advantage of information asymmetry. Asymmetry where you're front running the Stanford Rock agenda, which is lifted completely from, coincidentally, not coincidence, all 100% of my notes and agenda points for hashtag CPUCC24. This is why I drop so many tweets that seemingly go nowhere. Why? Because it's going to matter to somebody in the future, mainly to multiple billionaires. Are you trying to get 12 likes per idea that you do? Because if you're needing instantaneous, no time preference likes that support you every step that you're doing, you're kind of doing it wrong, because you need to be in this mindset, which is board of director governments to initial early entrepreneurship, and that is this. What opinion do you hold that currently other people do not share? Because you need to have opinions that other people will adopt just much later, so that way we can front run what eventually will take place. That's why the following by Stanford Rock with the subsequent blocking, because I didn't even accuse you of plagiarizing. I mean, it's clear that you did. I'm not even accusing you of it. And then, oops, we plagiarized, and now you're going to block me? That's the full cycle and full circle of front running, where you're so spot on that people plagiarize and then they don't even delete their plagiaristic content. This is what then we get when we use AI to run ahead in the marketplace. This is where it benefits you, not just in studying ahead for the $8,000 worth of tuition for the 30th annual Stanford Directors College, June 23 to 25. It's knowing that we can get some of this information now. So I am reading your guys' stuff, and some of it was appropriate. Some of it I will follow up on in a tad. What cybersecurity speaker is going to probably speak on is Eric O'Neill. This is the same content that we used at the Hotel Zaza October 1 through October 3rd, where we get to front run the content for cybersecurity with reading the guest speaker, who's potentially going to be Eric O'Neill, or potentially going to be somebody just like Eric O'Neill. And that's where, laughingly, we can front run the $8,000 of tuition. I'm not saying don't pay the $8,000. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying let's start to think about this from a computer science perspective. Big and bearded wouldn't like equal compliments in real world. Even if you screw up, you may not get a compliment, but you also get some criticism to help motivate and steer you down a different path. Yes, I think so, but what this live event's about is Stanford Corporeal Board of Governance, where the agenda was ripped specifically from a conference that took place already October 1 through October 3rd. So I tweeted notes, Stanford Rock was following me, and this is what then Stanford Rock said nearly a month after my notes on November 4, 2024. It reads this: Rock Center for Corporate Governance. Early rate ends soon. Apply now for Directors College, the top program for board of directors and C-suite execs. Join us for a deep dive into today's boardroom challenges and gain insights on ESG. Environmental, social, global. Succession planning, I added that by the way. Succession planning, cybersecurity, activist investors, and more. 100% paste copied from CPU CC 24. While that's okay, the computer science component of winning is this: can you use AI to get the $8,000 in tuition prior to paying the $8,000? Meaning, can you read Eric O'Neill's book? Can you read my CPU CC 24 tweets? CPU CC, computer share User Conference 2024 at Hotel Zaza, October 1 through 3rd. And then a month later, the same agenda appears, the same agenda appears at Rock Center for Corporate Governance. The additional components of winning at entrepreneurship go to this. Adding the Bitcoin for corporations content from strategy. Because when you're dealing with an activist investor, what is addressed is specifically Ryan Cohen with dealing with GameStop's activist shareholders by saying, will you look at holding Bitcoin? The reason that you're potentially still here is this value component, which I will do in bullet points. Remember the GameStop short squeeze that sort of didn't happen because the board of directors was kind of wanting to shoot itself in its own foot so that way they could benefit from the bankruptcy, allegedly. This is what we're doing with studying ahead for an event that takes place June 23rd to June 25th, because our ability to read ahead in the book is entirely much more possible now that you and I are friends, and that fact that we've used AI, artificial intelligence, for the first time doing AI, which is Asian intelligent artificial intelligence. So we're adding in a prompt. And this is incredibly good news. Why? Because you're taking this random topic of board of director governance at a school that's charging you $8,000 for C-level executives. Now you're thinking $8,000. Why is it so cheap? You're thinking that because now, what if you got all the ROI for April 23rd? What if you got all the ROI for June 23rd to June 25th, today, April 2nd, or March 32nd, which is April 1st? What if you got all that knowledge now? What if you're able to front run the cybersecurity book that they might be using for the upcoming June 23 to 25? Will you plagiarize and then block the person that you plagiarized from? Because that's what Stanford Rock accidentally, purposefully did, which invigorates me greatly. Why? Because not just imitation is the greatest form of flattery, it is when we live in an age of artificial intelligence, people are going to be ripping off our best notes. We don't want to feel like we're going to sue people for stealing. We're going to say, if you stole that, will you steal more from us with consent, with permission? And don't be embarrassed where you need to block me. We should collaborate on a future event because I will be front running. How? By incorporating an external API. Because truth be told, I'm not quite sure why ComputerShare was so gracious in inviting me. Maybe it was because I'm friendly. Maybe it was because I take good notes. Maybe it was because they wanted the connection into Harvard corporate governance inside of a safety school, Harvard, or Stanford University, Rock Center for Corporate Governance at Stanford Rock. Maybe that's why ComputerShare used also an external API, which is this. ACL, Austin City Limits. hold on to your butts because this is about to become incredibly amazing. Because I'm taking the paste copied agenda from my notes, the paste copied Rock Center for Corporate Governance from my notes, CPU CC 24, Computer Share User Conference 2024. CPU CC 24, hashtag CPU CC 24. And I'm DJing it up to the CPU CC 25. Do you see where this is going? Maybe you don't. So let me spell it out for you. If this is the first video that we've ever spent time together on, which is this. 23 days of OpenAI at ACL. Boom! Let me repeat that because it's about to become amazing. Which is, let's name this car for this edit. Let's call it hashtag 23 days of OpenAI at ACL. If this were to be a car that we're editing, this would be a Lotus. Why a Lotus? Because that's what a Tesla slider did, is it used the chassis of a Lotus. So we're building on top of CPU CC24 in a same way that Rock Center for Corporate Governance paste copied the agenda, all 7 bullet points. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And took Eric O'Neill's book on cybersecurity and probably are going to hire him to be keynote. Am I financially benefiting from reading the book? A little bit. Am I going to get invited to speak June 23rd to 25th? Maybe. Or I'll continue to be blocked by Stanford Rock. @ Stanford, like my safety school. Rock, like Arthur C. Rock. Am I friends with Arthur C. Rock? Acquaintances. I don't know how he'd feel about this plagiarism situation. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but blocking me is like trying to cover up the plagiarism, which invigorates me greatly because I consent to you stealing my best content. 23 days of OpenAI at ACL. That is us winning again. Why? Because the plagiarist is copying our old content from board of directors. What if we used AI to now incorporate Ryan Cohen, Michael Saylor, Adam Aaron? Bitcoin for treasuries, Bitcoin for treasuries using zero coupon bonds, no recourse, and buying a gold mine, which is not a zero coupon bond and does have recourse. Is this getting into the weeds of treasury and treasury operations? Yes. Is this the most entertaining board of director governance video that you've ever watched? Definitively yes. I even took the time to incorporate a GameStop component to this video. I brought them. I brought them like an Easter egg, because what we can do with day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3 of the 23 days of OpenAI at ACL is run it back. Run CPU CC 25 back. Why? Because the content from 30th Annual Stanford Directors College, June 23, June 24, June 25, is going to be 6 months behind. Let's try to be 6 months ahead today on April 1. April Fool pun unintended, because this is not April Fool's. This is April clown winning via Michael Saylor, Ryan Cohen, Adam Aaron, Treasury operations. Let's effing go. grab your pen, hashtag LABCS1459, which is MicroStrategy. Live action business case study 1459. It's the countermeasures that Patrick Byrne helped conjure up, which is this: Overstock. It was shorted almost out of existence. That case study is LABCS 1451. Because SEC, if you guys didn't know, this is real. Short seller enrichment commission. Hester Pierce is still running the show. And did she take Overstock to the brink? Unknowingly. Did she take Citadel speaker fees, who is on the other side of the trade? Maybe. She's signaling so much that she runs the short seller enrichment commission. Now you're having to deal with an activist investor named Larry Chang. And Ryan Cohen, LABCS 1452, GameStop. Hey, Ryan Cohen, would you consider owning Bitcoin on the balance sheet? How about a zero coupon bond, no recourse? Connecting him to LABCS 1459, Michael Saylor, using a selfie over the holidays. Is this not the best prompt and front run to the 30th annual Stanford Directors College? Oh, did I say 30th annual? I really meant 31st annual, June 24 to June 26, 2026. Do you see how this is layer one, which is calendar reading ahead? Do you see how the content for the 23 days of OpenAI at ACL completely apply here? Why? Because the 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest, those took place in March. What we're doing is we're front running the 31st annual Stanford Directors College. That's going to take place in 2026. Who is going to write the agenda? Extrapolated, it's AI. Is it three dudes who are on a ton of boards? Oh yeah. This is where Fund of Founders, maybe this is your first time meeting AI Ed Chen, AI Bruce Wang, and AI Leslie Cheng, or Larry Cheng, but Leslie Cheng's ex-boyfriend. Is this kind of a joke? It's hilarious, and it's true, which is I went ahead and published phone numbers for the three Chinese dudes who are VCs. Who's VC number one? Oh, that would be Ed Chen. Is his number 626-512-9380? Probably. How about Bruce Wang? Bruce Wang. I think he's the AI octogenarian Chinese VC who's at 630-235-3700. Oh, how about Leslie Cheng, Larry Cheng? Leslie Cheng's phone number, 415-720-8500. Oh my God, is that the same phone number that ran the Uber API? I think so. Go ahead and screenshot this because it's hilarious. These are the three that already understand the 32nd annual Stanford Directors College in 2027. Who uses AI? People who are kind of smart and kind of well applied. Are we doing board of directors work inside of the 30th annual Stanford Directors College? Yes. Are these notes from 2024? Yes. Is this exactly a November 4, 2024 tweet, which is a paste copy? Let me read it. Rock Center for Corporate Governance. Early rate ends soon. Early rate being $8,000. Early rate ends soon. Apply now for Directors College, the top program for board of directors and C-suite execs. Join us for a deep dive into today's boardroom challenges and gain insights on ESG, succession planning, cybersecurity, activist investors, and more. Winning at board of directors is realizing not a lot of people understand how thermodynamics plugs into board of directors operations. What? I gotta self-study Steven Zundahl's book? Yeah. Easter egg. Easter egg. Steven Zundahl, I love you, buddy. My chemistry professor, you think, oh, understanding chemistry is never gonna apply to like a boardroom. Guess what? Oh, zero coupon bonds, no recourse. I can't say that enough because this is what they don't teach you at Stanford Rock 30th Annual Stanford Directors College. That's what they don't teach you. You like how on brand this is?